Hey guys, it's Miss Dilworth back with another read aloud story time with Miss Dilworth. Um, Today we are going to read a folk tale. My second graders, this is a little bit of review. If you remember, a folk tale is a fairy tale, fable, myth, legend, or tall tale. I'm going to give you guys a few reminders that a fairy tale usually has royalty. It starts with once upon a time. It ends with and they lived happily ever after. And it's usually some good versus evil. Cinderella is a great example of that. There's royalty, there's magic, there is once upon a time, they lived happily ever after, things like that. A fable is a talking animal is usually in the book, and as well as it usually teaches you a lesson or a moral at the end, like slow and steady wins the race for the tortoise and the hare. A tall tale is usually about a person and their accomplishments in life. A legend or myth is usually how things came to be. So remember, if you guys remember Anansi, think way, way back to Anansi. That book explains why we have the moon in the sky. So that is the legend, or the legend of Atlantis. Bigfoot is a myth, as another example. So as we read through this book, I want you to think, what kind of folk tale is it? Is it a fairy tale, folk tale? Well, it is a folk tale. Is it a fairy tale, fable, legend, myth, or tall tale? So let us look at the cover. It says, How Lizard Lost His Colors. Retold by Sara Shapiro, illustrated by Ellen Gingenbach. So when it says retold, that's a big hint that it's a folk tale, meaning it was a story that came from a specific culture or a group of people, and they passed it down and they passed it down and they passed it down, and somebody has decided to write it down in a book so we can all read it. All right. So How Lizard Lost His Colors. And it tells us right here, a traditional Navajo tale. The Navajo are a tribe of Native Americans, so now we know what culture it comes from. In the Native American Navajo tribe, they would tell this story, and they pass it down, and they pass it down, and they pass it down, and our author, Sara Shapiro, decided to write it down and turn it into a book. So just a little background. I will get started now. How Lizard lost his colors. You can see here he's very colorful. What might happen? He's very colorful. Long ago, Lizard had pretty skin. It was very colorful, and Lizard loved his colorful skin. So, remember, on our first page, we always meet our character and we figure out our setting. Here is Lizard, and here's our setting. You can pause right now and think, what kind of climate do you think this is, or landscape? I see some cacti. The sun looks very big, and this looks very sandy. So I think it looks like a desert. So we have our main character, Lizard. Our setting is in the desert, outside during the day, right? It's not nighttime yet. One day, Coyote saw Lizard sitting on a rock. Coyote saw Lizard's colorful skin. Coyote wanted to eat Lizard, so Coyote pushed the rock. Lizard did not fall off. The rock rolled down the hill. The rock rolled on top of Lizard. Lizard was stuck. Lizard was stuck under the rock for a long time. At last, Lizard wiggled out. But Lizard's colorful skin was gone. It was still under the rock. Lizard was very sad. So his colorful skin is stuck under the rock. Lizard wiggled out, but his skin is still under the rock. You can make a prediction. What do you think might happen next? I think Lizard is going to go look for different skin because he seems very sad about the fact that he lost his skin color. Mother Earth saw Lizard. She said, "Don't be sad. Now your skin looks like the sand. It will be hard for Coyote to see you. It will be hard for Coyote to catch you." Why do you think it's important that the lizard looks more like sand instead of very colorful? He lives in the desert, so there's lots of sand. You can see it right there. He matches it. Why is it important that lizard matches the sand? Let's see. So now Lizard is the color of the sand, and Coyote cannot see him. The end. That's the end of our book, a super short tale. So we can see that Lizard finally has the ability to camouflage, a very big science word you guys might have heard before. Camouflage is when you blend into something. So before, Lizard stuck out. He was very obvious wherever he went. Everybody could see him because it said, "Oh my gosh, look at all that colorful skin on that rock over there." But now, since he is the same color as the sand, it'll be harder for Coyote to see him from far away. So I want you to think back to our folktale unit and think to yourself, is this a fairy tale? Was there royalty? Was there magic? Did it start with once upon a time or end with happily ever after? Not really. So I don't think it's a fairy tale. Let me think. Is it a fable? Was there an animal talking? Yes. Was a lesson taught? Maybe. Camouflage is good. Okay, maybe. Maybe it's a fable. Is it a tall tale? Is it about a person and their accomplishments? No, because Lizard isn't a person. He's a lizard. Is it a myth or a legend? So it explains something. It does explain how the lizard came to lose his colors. So I would say it could either be a legend or a myth, the myth of how the lizard came to be camouflaged, or it could be a fable because there are talking animals. Either answer I think would work. So that was our book today, How Lizard Lost His Colors. It was a Navajo folktale. So that means it was passed down in that tribe time after time after time, and eventually someone wrote it down. So I hope you guys enjoyed our shorter book today. I will see you all tomorrow.